Namaskar, dear devotees and friends. We'll be studying the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, the Panchama Veda. And today we will hear Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna. He is mentioning one cannot attain knowledge unless one is free from ego. This we will find in English page 900 and Bengali page 975. So let us begin with this the mantra. Tabu kathamritam tapta jivanam kabibhirilitam kalmashapaham sravana mangalam srimadaatatam bhubi grinanti e bhurida janaha. We were actually in the this month and the last March 26th, we heard the Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna is mentioning one should be satisfied with what comes unsought. So this is for those who are very, very genuine in the pursuit of spiritual life. Whatever is coming to me, I am fine. So that type of temperament, that mentality, it makes a mind very calm. That helps a person to realize God. Why? Because the other side, the other external thing is not disturbing my mind. And that is the main thing. But those who are thinking that they will practice some religion but at the same time want to be successful in the worldly life, they can continue both. This is for the highest, those sadhakas, sadhikas, those who are genuinely and for 100% mind, they are trying to realize God. For them, this is, and that we find in the Bhagavad Gita also. In the Jnana Yoga, that is 4th chapter, 22nd verse, as we have already read, Yadricha labha santushta. Yad icha labha santushta. Whatever has come, I am satisfied in it. Dissatisfaction means desire. The desire is there and not fulfilled, so dissatisfaction. When dissatisfaction is there, that means desire is there. When desire is there, mind will always make it will become turbulent. So always think of that how to achieve that. For that type of mind, it is very difficult to make a progress in the spiritual life. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna is a genuinely 100% all his teachings only to realize God, because he has already declared in the beginning of his life the God realization is the goal of human life. So obviously all his teachings for the God realization. So we should not misunderstand, we should not ask question, oh, shall we not then do any work? No, not like that. Of course we should do our sadharma, we should, whatever in the situation that we are, from there we should make the progress to the spiritual life. The sadharma is a great thing that wherever we are, in whatever responsibility that we are supposed to, we should perform. But then ultimately when I am going to realize the God, my truth, I am going to get the liberation, or Brahma Jnana, Atma Jnana, Ishwar Labha, at that time, mind becomes completely free from all these bondages. So it says, Yadricha Labha Santushta. Then Dandvatita, there is no duality, there is no conflict. Danda, Atita. Atita means it is beyond that. What danda? What is the danda? That is, shall I or shall I not? There is no question of that. It is decisive. No danda. Oh, I am not happy, oh, I am unhappy. Like this, nothing should be there. Bimatsaraha. And this bimatsara, free from jealousy. When I have a jealousy, when I have envy, that, oh, that person is successful, I am not, why he is getting, I am not getting, all those things comes when there are some desires are there. So we have to understand the Bhagavad Gita also teaches us the supreme spirituality. Friends, that mostly what we do is religion. Some of the do's and don'ts. And we go to the temple, this is a Ram Navami, Krishna Janmashtami. So we go to the temple, we do, that's good. But that is the beginning of the spiritual life. But when we are finishing, completing the spiritual life, then these qualities come. So there is no jealousy at all, because I don't want anything of this world. Why should I be jealous if someone is successful? Success in the worldly life, that is not my goal. So if someone somewhere becoming successful in whatever field may be, that doesn't mean anything to me. Because my goal is completely different. I am going to realize God. And when I see that some people have already realized God, then I can go and pray to God. If they have realized God, why you are not giving me that blessings? That is a different thing completely. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna used to pray in this way, because before him there are other Shradhakas. If you have given darshan to him, darshan means you have manifested before him, so why not before me? Why I am also your son. So this is not envy, this is not jealousy, this is a prayer. If he can, I can also, because the same quality I am also having. So this is a prayer, the Bimotsara, and Samasiddha Asiddho. He is trying his best. And if he is successful, it is okay. If he is not, it is okay. Whether people say or not, it doesn't matter. I am satisfied. I have tried my best. And when that person is doing any action, he is not bound. I am just quoting because we have already studied that long back on the 26th of March. So these are the things we should remember, we should keep in our mind when we are thinking that we are going to realize God. Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna is not an ordinary book. It's a gist of all the best spiritual teachings clubbed together. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, he himself practiced all paths. Then he gave us this way. So in Bhagavad Gita, when we find Sri Ramakrishna mentioning the same thing in his life, then afterwards, on the April 2nd, that we have discussed about Jnana and Big Jnana. Now, God realization, what is that? Understanding clearly that there is God, and God is the material cause and the intellectual cause of this creation. He is both, He is everything. That is Jnana. And when we approach through the path of devotion, then we say the same Jnana, we say God is everything. And the devotee will say, Yatra yatra netra pade, tatra tatra Krishna spure. Krishna is my God. And now that Krishna, that God I see in everything, in every being, that is the same thing. And what a Vedantin will see that, what is his realization? Everything is nothing but the consciousness. He thinks that his consciousness, the same consciousness take a form of Krishna or Rama or Vishnu or Sri Ramakrishna, and that the devotee sees. What is the difference? Well, they will say it is a duality because there is an image, but he says everything, including me. I am also not different from that. So that is the, in the the great the scholar, and at the same time he was a Jnani. At the same Jnaninam Agragannam, about him it says, and that is our Mahavir, Hanumanji. The Mahavir Hanumanji, he clearly mentioned that when I have that Sharira Buddhi, Deha Buddhi, I sense with this body, then you are different, I am different. But when I feel that there is no body, then what is there? Consciousness. What is God? Consciousness. Who am I? Consciousness. There is no difference at all. That consciousness, suppose a small light and the huge powerful light, but both are having the electricity only. So both are giving the light. It is small, it is big, but both are same. Ishvara and Jiva, both are same. So that is the way, that is called jnana, that is the realization. When one goes, and suppose you like to go in a different way, that's called in the Dvaita way, then you make a God. Same consciousness, you are putting some name and form so that you enjoy that. So it says of me, ajopi sannavayatma, bhutanam ishyaropi san, prakritim swamadhishtaya sambhavami atma mayaya. The question may come, can God take form? Many people, they will think, how it is possible? God is all pervasive, God is so big, so powerful, can he take a form? Of course, because God is all powerful. If he is all powerful, he can do anything. And can't he take a form? That means he is not having that power then. So it will be very challenging if we say God cannot take form. God can. If he likes, he can take form because he is all powerful. Any form he can take. He may become a stone, he may become a tree, he may become the animal, bird. What is that to you? It is up to him. Whether you like or not, that is your problem. You like to see God as a baby, it's okay. Or a young man, it is okay. Or mother, it's okay. That is up to you. So this is exactly what Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna wants to teach us. When we fight, it is not the problem of God, it is our ego problem. So today, he is mentioning one cannot attain knowledge unless one is free from egotism. So that is the problem. So that is the reason I was recapitulating, remembering the teachings of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, and also that is supported by the scripture, Bhagavad Gita. Of course, in the our Upanishads and other scriptures also supporting the same thing. So what is the problem? If we try to know our own self, or if we like to realize God, see, two different things. It's the approach of the Hindus. Others are nothing. They say God and me. For them it is dualist. For the Hindus, beyond the duality, they go for the monism. They say, no, it is only the consciousness. It is no form. It's another view, a very higher view, very subtle view, very difficult for many to even intellectually understand this. But the popular view is God is there, I am here. God is my father, I am his son. God is my mother, I am a child. So like that. And it becomes easy and no problem in it. But we will never be able to reach over there unless we are completely free from ego. I love my God. And I think the God cannot eat these other things. I think God cannot have these other forms. I think God should be only this. That is your ego. And what a devotee will say, well, it is I cook these other things and I love to offer this to God. No problem. So friends, it is very difficult. The subtle way the ego comes and takes us away from God. The moment ego comes, you are far away from God. We are far away from God. And ego will never leave you because that is the power of God. The ego is nothing but the Maya. And that Maya Shakti, it deludes everyone. We are praying to God and we are practicing austerity, fasting, visiting holy places, reading holy books, And then ultimately when I come to very close, and then I think that God should be only in this form. And others, whatever form they are worshipping, no, that is all seen. Then I go and say, all those things are wrong, they are bad, we should not look at that, and that becomes a problem. Almost we were reaching to, but this ego takes us back again to the square one. So that's why Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna many times he mentioned about a game in this country also they play. We used to call it Ludo. I don't know. That there's that you have to from 1 to 100. And here and there, in that game, there are snakes are there. Snakes. If you are going to that particular number where the face of a snake is there, you have to go down where the tail ends. So that is the way. Again and again you are going up and coming down, going up and coming down. There are some ladders are also there. Those who are very lucky, they will go to that particular number and they need not to go other numbers. They can skip those and go because the ladder is there. So this way, good, bad, and then ultimately, I don't know who actually formulated this very intelligently, 99, after that 100. And if you reach the 100, you are free. You have won the game. 99 there will be a snake, and the longest snake, and it ends up in 1 only. From 99 you will come down to 1. So obviously I have seen mostly 97, 98, and they end up over there. They like to jump, but unfortunately majority they put 1, and then 1 means the 99, and you have to come back to 1. It's called come back to square one. The square one means where you started, you come back to that. That is why Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, he is again and again he is mentioning the problem is with the ego. So see that a Brahmin, he was born in a very high caste, and from the childhood days he was practicing cleanliness, truthfulness, study of the scripture, and all that. Slowly he grew up, and then he very knowledgeable. He can quote from different scriptures. All these things were there. But ultimately when he's almost reaching to God, suddenly he started feeling, I am a Brahmin, I am higher than others, I am pure than others, and you should not touch me. I am not going to eat your cooked food because you are lower. See how the subtle, all these things are coming in his mind. If God is everywhere, then how all these thoughts should come to your mind? That is called Maya. And he is convinced, he is a great scholar, and regularly meditating, regularly praying, but not understanding where his boat is tied. Anchored, it is there, and is going on rowing the boat, it will move nowhere. That is our problem. 50 years, 60 years, people are practicing spirituality, going to the temple, contributing so much of money for construction. But where is the development? If peace is not there in the mind, if love is not there in the mind, if you can't see everyone the manifestation of God, if you see differences, obviously you have not reached anywhere near God. The Swami Vivekananda, when he was attending a program in Khetri, Rajasthan, the lady singer, and she wanted to sing, Swamiji thought I should not listen to this, according to the tradition of those days. Then she sang a beautiful song that cleared the mind of a person like Vivekananda. She sang, Prabhu mere aboguna chitana dhara. In Hindi, not pure Hindi, but it's a Prabhu mere abaguna chitana dhara. The Lord, don't see the faults in me. Abaguna, the faults. Maybe but you should not see that. Why? Samadarshi hai naam tihar. Look at it. Samadarshi hai naam tihar. You are supposed to be the equal-minded person. You're a monk. That is your life sadhana. It is the reminder. It is a reminder there is no low or high. There is no that pure or impure. It is all God. That Vivekananda, when he was traveling in Himalaya, then he was traveling with another brother monk. And brother monk means both of them, they got initiation from the same guru. So that's why brother monk. So that is one of our very famous Swamiji. His name was Gangadhar. Swamiji used to call him Ganges. And then he went to bring some food from the villages by begging. That is the traditionally Hindus that do. And Swamiji was meditating under a peepal tree, and then suddenly he solved that problem. What is there in the macrocosm, that is here in the microcosm. What is in my mind, my thought, and that the same thing is there outside in a huge, big form. What is a country? What are the ministers that do? Same thing our mothers are also doing. Our parents are also doing in the household. They're also taking decision. They're also having the relations with the neighbors and the relatives. They're also spending money and earning money. They're also planning in that way, almost a small way. Very minute, very little. But the same thing is very bigger. There is a minister who is purchasing things from outside world, huge money. And my mother is also purchasing a little, but the same thing. So this way, if we look at, and we are also the small, little, tiny, but we are an unit of the universe. I am an unit of the same universe. That is the beauty. And that's why Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna said, knowledge. What is knowledge? He gave the definition. Conviction that God alone dwells in all beings. Conviction is not an idea. Conviction that God alone dwells in all beings. In all beings. He never said Hindu or these or that, all beings. Right from the ant up to the rhinoceros, elephant, everything. Everywhere. The blade of a grass and also the huge Brahma, the creator, all same thing. Brahma is also that same consciousness and the grass is also. So when we are convinced on that, you have realized God. So you have realized God because conviction that God alone, and when I am convinced in that way, how can I hate? That is called the knowledge. And what is egotism? Now, the consciousness is reflecting within me as it is reflecting in every being. It is reflecting in me, but by mistake, I mix up the consciousness with my body. That is called ego. When I say I, you'll notice that everyone is pointing the body. I means this body. But what is this body? It's nothing but some bones, some marrow, some blood, some flesh and skin, and that is. Are you that? It's a terrible thing. So obviously it is not. Then what is I? But everyone is so much egoistic, each and every one. And that the Vedantins say that is called Maya. And that is, we are confused. Someone, very, very, very powerful magician, mesmerized us. And millions and billions of people are all confused. Everyone is thinking it is I. And when they are thinking about the I, this body and the associated with the body, the land, it is my country. And the people are my people. And some of the language and the culture, song, my. So I and my, these two have come. So that is the cause of all our suffering. All our suffering is that. So this is consciousness which is reflected in all beings when get mixed up with the body, it is called ego. This egotism, Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna said, if the egotism is there, no chance of getting the realization. Now, Swami Vivekananda, he was going on singing one after another, and that created a wonderful atmosphere. And then afterwards, Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, when he was addressing the doctor, he said, give up the false modesty. Why should you feel shy about singing the name of God? That is also a bondage. Then I feel the God is there, I love God. What others will think, I am concerned about others. So I cannot express my love. In the spiritual life, it should not be there. Then I love my God and I must say, yes, this is what I do. So this is sometimes we are a bit confused, and sometimes in the name of some the social norms and these, no, a leader cannot practice any religion. Why not? It is his particular practice. He will do it personally. What is that to you? He is not blaming others, or he is not differentiating when he is judging. That's all. That's where I have it. That's Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna says in that way. Then he says to Doctor, I never bother about the people. Sri Ramakrishna says, that is okay. Go beyond knowledge and ignorance. Only then can you realize God. The unswerving conviction that God alone dwells in all beings is jnana, knowledge. To know Him intimately is vijnana. We have already discussed about that. Then the conversation is going on, and Sri Ramakrishna said, to answer the Lakshmana, Sri Rama said, look at a great scholar. And he was actually the family guru of Sri Rama, Vashishta Muni. But even then, he was attached with Maya. So for his son, he was crying. Now, don't ask question that, can't the father should cry for his son? Of course. But when we are discussing about the spiritual life and the knowledge, then that perspective. What is knowledge? Spiritual knowledge, not the science or the geography or the history. Spiritual knowledge. What is that knowledge? That God alone is there and nothing else. Okay? Then where the son comes, daughter comes, wife comes, mother comes, father comes, nothing is there. It is an approach. Don't get confused. It's an approach. If you don't like, no problem. There is other approaches are also there. But here, the Vedantic approach about the knowledge, everything is nothing but the consciousness. And whatever you see, will you believe? They say it is nothing but dream. It's very hard to accept it, to believe it, but that is the truth that the Shankaracharya proved. That is the Vedantic thing. That is called all. Now, as an example, we can say when the children are playing, particularly the little girls, when they play with their dolls, they can talk to those dolls. They can feel that the particular doll is hungry, and she also sits to cook. And I have seen the little girls, they are sitting and cooking exactly whatever their mothers are doing. They are imitating that because they have seen their mothers, and they are imitating that way. And they will be going and telling a doll that if you don't cry, I am cooking the food for you. But when he was sitting and observing, oh, look at that. of the fools. But for her, for them, it's a real. Same way, when a spiritual person after their realization look at us and he will think, look at these people. There nothing is there, but they are thinking this, they are thinking that. Friend, at this moment it is very difficult to realize, but when we grow in spiritual life, we can understand that. And what happens then? No anxiety, no fear. When those children they are there, they are very much anxious whether my doll should be there or not, whether anybody is disturbing. All those fears are there. So all the time they will be caring about their dolls. But when you grow up, do you carry that doll? I have seen the children, they are carrying the doll constantly. But when you grow up, do you carry that? No. Why? Because you have understood that is nothing. That much. When that comes, called knowledge, spiritual knowledge. It's not, oh, you're heartless. No, nothing like that. They are not heartless. But their knowledge says there is nothing but. Suppose a dream, and in dream you are a king and you are having a huge property and all that. Then the dream breaks, then what happens? For some time you think, oh, I was in a nice mood, that was a good thing. Then afterwards, that is a dream only. Same way, when we realize God and we become jnani, we understand that this world that we see is nothing actually. It is very difficult. Why? Ego. And what is this ego? Nobody knows, but everyone is bound by the ego. Everyone. Including the great personality like the teachers, and they also are crying. And brother, how amazing. The wise man like Vashishta, he's also crying. Why? Because if you have this, if you are having that too, go beyond that. So he says, Shyam Babu, Shyam Boshu, he said, sir, what remains after one throws away both thorns? This Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna was telling that you should take one thorn to remove the another thorn. You know, the previous day also we discussed, in the villages, particularly the countries like India, Bangladesh, Pakistan and all that, the poor country, advanced country, the advancing. So this type of things villages they do, maybe here also in America. What happens, sometimes you will get some thorns are there. So they will break another thorn and somehow they will take it out and throw both the thorns. One thorn is helping you, another thorn is giving you pain. But both are thorns. Similarly, the knowledge that gave you about the ignorance, you have to throw both. Then what remains? The truth only. So this is the ultimate. It is not the knowledge. We always, the Hindus, we always utter the Om because we believe Om is the word form of Brahman, which is the purest of the pure. And how to, the Brahman, I like to meditate, we say Om, A-O-Ma. That has another explanation. The Om is the most purest thing for the Hindus. Now, after the realization, you don't see Om there. Why? It is completely different thing. You are having everything that you see is nothing but consciousness. That is the way. Again, the example, when the dream broke, you don't see the palace, you don't see the horses, you don't see the king, you don't see nothing, but you are not sorry because you see the reality. Reality that we feel this world. Similarly, in spiritual world, when you reach over there, what we see, all these people, they say joy, happiness, bliss, bliss, extreme bliss, eternal bliss. And where from that happiness is coming? What is the source? is knowledge only. There is no particular source, just happiness. And that happiness is so extreme, you don't like to break that, you don't like to come down. That's why the Saptarishi, one of them, the Lord himself went and told, please come. Because they are in a great bliss, sitting, enjoying. Then, as because the Supreme Lord gave the call to come down, that he came and became Vivekananda. And in the whole life, so many things happened. But in reality, he was one of the Saptarishis. This also that we find that when he says, what happened to, then the Sri Ramakrishna, he is telling, see, the eternal and the ever pure consciousness, Nitya Shuddha Bodha Rupa, Nitya, eternal, Shuddha, pure, Bodha Rupa, that is the Atman. But difficult even to understand when the teacher says like that, as because we don't have any idea about the purity. Our purity means bathing in a holy river, that is we think pure. Our purity means fasting. Our purity means giving some puja and like that. But it is completely different. This is Nitya, eternal, Shuddha. Why Shuddha? There is no selfishness. There is no selfishness. Friend, this is a very interesting. We always, the whole life we talk about Shuddha, Ashuddha, pure, impure. But what is purity? Unselfishness. So when you completely become unselfish, you are purity. And it is not this moment I am unselfish, next moment I am, no. Eternal, Nitya, Shuddha, Bodha Rupa, and ever consciousness. And that is there constantly, that is called the joy. How can I make it clear to you? Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna is telling, how can I make it clear? Suppose a man who has never tasted ghee ask you, what does ghee taste like? Now, how can you explain that to him? At the most you can say, what is ghee like? It is just like ghee. So that you have to understand. My dear, you will know it yourself afterwards. So when you have not tasted that, that means it is a subjective knowledge. It's not an objective knowledge. When we try to realize God through science, what is science? External knowledge. And what is the external knowledge? Anything that we can perceive, we can understand through the help of our 5 organs. Our eye, our nose, our ear, our touch, our taste, these are the 5. The Hindus are very, very scientific way they explain. They won't say, because it is written in the scripture, you must believe it, nothing like that. You may doubt, no problem. You may ask question, no problem. Only thing, you have to keep your mind open to understand it. Now, when you are touching, you are feeling something and you have a knowledge of that. This is soft, this is hard, this is hot, this is cool. Then that way we are understanding. Smell also, sound also. When you see, different. And these things we increase with the help of the machines. And we get the idea of this world. So there is a science. But how you will understand God which is within your consciousness? So there are a lot of discussions there are so many seminars. Almost every year there will be a seminar on consciousness. And all the scholars, they try to explain what is that consciousness in their own way. But I know that I am conscious. Then suppose you go as that one lady, in the morning someone got up from his sleep and he was scolding his wife. Why you people had to watch the TV so late night. Then the wife and other people, they were looking at him. What? He said, yesterday there was no electricity at all. Only you drank so much. So you were imagining a TV and a TV show is going and that much. We had to stop you and somehow helped you to go to bed. And nothing was there. No electricity. How can the TV will be there? So he imagined that. And he was hearing the sound, and he thought because of the TV, and in his dream, he was fully drunk and he was sleeping, and next morning he thought he is going to scold them because they did a wrong thing. This is all Maya. I think I am right person. But you were under the spell of all that intoxication. So obviously Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna is telling, unless and until you are realizing yourself, you won't be able to realize what is this. So it is very, very subjective, not objective. It is said in the Purana that the Bhagavati, the Divine Mother, was once born as the daughter of King Himalaya in the Purana. In the Hindus, they have different scriptures. Then one of that is the Purana. There are 18 Puranas. The Puranas, they are mainly stories. And almost every Purana has a god. Then like the Vishnu Purana, Baraha Purana, Agni Purana, Bhagavata Purana. Bhagavat is the most accepted one. And there, through the stories, they will teach you the high moral values, spirituality, religion. And through the stories, but some real, the historical facts are also there. So over that, they will add something and present in such a way that you love to listen to that, you read that, and then you are encouraged to imbibe those things. So that is the Purana, mythology. It is not just a cock and bull stories, not like that. The spiritual life, as I always feel, that there is one where you have to do, that is called ritual. Life begins with the ritual. Spiritual life, religious life, begins with the ritual. Then you have to go and take the initiation from a guru. Then the guru will say every morning and evening you should take the name. Ramakrishna mission is broad. They will never say, don't eat this. They'll say, whatever you do, no problem. But try to purify your mind. Others will say, you should not eat this. So whatever. So it is that you go, ritual. And when you are practicing ritual and slowly getting attracted to that particular ideology, and you hear that they are instructing you, don't tell lies, don't hurt others. So second comes morality. So when you go to the temple, practicing ritual, and then hear the discourses, they teach you the morality. And those moral advices you hear and read in that mythologies, the Purana. These mythologies will give you the wonderful examples so that you are encouraged to practice that too. That is the myth. Then comes the philosophy, darshana. They explain that by this time you are matured enough. So it is not the simply practices. You want to get it clarified. Intellectually, you like to be satisfied. Whatever I am doing, is it true? Is truly God is there, God everywhere? So the spirituality will come the last. These philosophers, they will explain, and that's why the different philosophies are there. It is that God is there, you are separate from God. Some will say you are that God, like that, like that. Finally comes spirituality. And you need not to go to anyone because you know that, you have realized that, you are that. So this is the way slowly it goes. When you go to study the medicine, then obviously some basic knowledge is necessary. So then afterwards you are going over there. They will be teaching you the medicine, then they will give the example. Such and such doctor, they did like this. So scientist, they developed this medicine. This is the way they discovered. So many stories will be there. And sometimes it goes to mythological stages. There was a very famous politician come doctor, and the Bidhan Chandra Rai in Bengal. We have heard, we have not seen him, but we heard about him. And then it goes on in such a way. Then one person came, Bidhan Chandra Rai, just because the body order was there, and he smelled that and said, hey, you are having this type of problem, go and take this medicine, like this. So he was such a great doctor, even by through the smell, he could detect the problem. It is whether true or not, we do not know. But we get a inspiration that I must become a doctor like that. Like this only. But when you become a doctor, you know what is what, and naturally you have a full confidence. These things happening, it is like this only, and no problem. So this is the way, if we try to understand the gradation. First we start going to the school, that's called temple, and that is whatever they say, this type of dress code, this type of fasting, this type of offering. In the school also that those courses are going. So that way it is the beginning of the spiritual life. So ritual, then morality, then mythology, then philosophy, and then comes spirituality. You are that. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna said, unless and until you realize yourself, then it is not possible to explain what is God. It is said in the Purana, in the Bhagavad Gita, he was the daughter of the king Himalaya. After her birth, she showed her father her many forms, as because she was Bhagavati. So obviously she was showing different forms of the goddess, the power of God, to his father Himalaya. The Lord of the mountains, Himalaya, after enjoying all these visions, said to the Divine Mother, as because she is now the daughter, as a father now he is asking, may I have the vision of Brahman as it is described in the Vedas? Brahman, the consciousness. Then the Divine Mother answered, Father, if you want to have the vision of Brahman, you must live in the company of holy men. Why it is? You cannot describe Brahman. You have to realize it. Then, now if you go and then they describe some food, you want, oh, it is like that, it is like that. But when you are testing yourself, then you need not to go to the books and then read what actually it looks like, how it tastes, because you have realized it. When you visit a place, you have realized it. You know that place looks like this only. Then this time I went to the Auckland, New Zealand. Just before that, I went somewhere in America, someplace. The one gentleman, he was driving my car. Then when he heard that I am planning to go to New Zealand, he said, I have visited New Zealand. It is nothing but green. Then he stopped the car in one place and showed, look, Swamiji, from here, as we see the whole terrain, it's just like the New Zealand. And I saw the green, the vast field. It's okay. But did I truly realize New Zealand? No. This time, when I went over there, and then there also they were driving, then I looked at those places and okay, to some extent he was correct. But now, as I have seen that place myself, then only I can say, yes, he was to some extent correct, not completely. So that is the way, unless and until you go, you realize yourself, you can never ever talk about God. That's why the Bhagavati said, you have to realize Brahman, that consciousness. And how can you understand that? You have to go and have the company of those who have already realized it. That's called holy company, holy people. The holy people, they have already visited, so they will give you the idea, like the gentleman who was giving me the idea. Same way they can say, you know what is Brahman? It is all pervasive consciousness. And you know what is Brahman? It is all joy. You know what is Brahman? It is completely fearlessness. You know what is Brahman? It is like the Omkara, like that they will say. So you will get some idea. But that is also nothing. But when you yourself realize God, then maybe you will sing that like that ancient the Rishi, he sang, Srinnantu Vishe Amritasya Putraha. Listen to me, whoever there in this world. A dhamani divyani tastu. I have realized that truth. Vedahametam purusham prapanna. And I have realized that one who is residing within me, that's called Purusha, something that is there inside us. But you have to go beyond the darkness. You have to go beyond the ignorance. Then only it is possible to realize it. So this joy comes from within. And he tries to explain that, but that much. Because you cannot say, so Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna many a times he said, so much I feel to tell you the truth. But the moment I try to do that, somebody as if choke my throat. I cannot talk. It is the self-realization. Through this, the Purana, the story, the father, if you want to have the vision of Brahman, you must live in the company of holy men. That means those who have already realized the Brahman, you must live with them. When Brahman is cannot be what Brahman is cannot be described in words. Somebody once said that everything in the world has been made impure, like food that has touched by the tongue, and that Brahman alone remains undefiled. The meaning is this: all scripture and holy books, the Vedas, the Puranas, the Itihasas, Tantras, and so forth, may be said to have defined because their contents have been altered by the tongue of men. But that Brahman in no tongue has yet been able to describe. No tongue has yet been able to describe. Therefore, Brahman is still undefiled. One cannot describe in words the joy of the play of the communion with the Satchidananda. Sat Chit Ananda is another indication about the Brahman. Sat, Chit and Ananda. Sat means eternal. Chit means knowledge. Ananda means happiness. See, we always like to survive. Why? Because our source is eternal. So we don't like to die. So we know what is that eternity. Oh, I like to live, I like to live, I like to live. So that feeling is there. When they say it is Sat, I can understand a little imagination. Oh, it may be the 1,000 years he is living. And in Hindu, they will believe there are 5 people are there who are still they are living. One of them is the Hanumanji. Hanumanji never dies. Like that conception is there. So if you are thinking in that way, then the knowledge. We have the knowledges, the different type of knowledges. So we understand, oh, knowledge, oh, yes, we understand that. And then Ananda, the happiness, the joy, we all believe in that. Even the children and the old people, everyone knows what is joy, what is happiness. So when they say it is Sat Chit Ananda, we get an idea, the conception, very minute though, that it must be like this. So they say, what is Brahman? Sat Chit Ananda, Swarupa, embodiment of that. What is Brahman? Om. So when you are pronouncing Om, you are not taking the help of anything. So that may be like that. It's not taking the help of anything. So what is Brahma? That is a all-pervasive consciousness. I know the consciousness, so I can understand a little about that. But these are all hints, but they cannot describe. So that is they say, addressing Dr. Sharka Sri Ramakrishna continued, look here, one cannot attain knowledge unless one is free from egotism. And there is a saying, when shall I be free? When shall I be free? When I shall cease to do. When there is no I, then only I will realize. So sometimes there's the Vedanta, they give talks on who am I. You will realize I when there is no I. So this is like this, you have to go. I and mine, that is ignorance. Thou and thine, that is knowledge. A true devotee says, O God, thou alone art the doer. Thou alone does it all. I am a mere instrument. I do as thou makest me do. All these, wealth, possession, nay, the universe itself, belong to thee. This house and those relatives are thine alone, not mine. I am thy servant. Mine is only the right to serve thee according to thy bidding. This service to God, that is the only way we can help ourselves. When we are serving, actually we are helping ourselves. Sometimes we misunderstand. We think, I am doing so much. You are not doing, you are helping yourself. When I am doing something or you are doing something, you are purifying your mind. When you are working for God, you are purifying your mind. You are helping yourself. That is the main thing. Then Turiyanandaji, and we heard the stories, Turiyanandaji and other, some direct disciples, they were sitting and they were chit-chatting. Suddenly, one brahmachari was coming down from the old temple of Belur Math. Those who have visited, you can understand the old temple, that stairs he is coming. Suddenly, Turiyanandaji got up and he started scolding that brahmachari. He was naturally scared and he said, he did nothing. Then after he left, then the other Swami, his brother disciple, said, but that boy didn't do anything. Why you were scolding him? He serves you. He said, he is serving me? How much? Only this body he is serving. I am serving his mind. Because the ego that was there, Turiyanandaji could see that by scolding, he removed that ego from his mind. So he said, I am serving it much more, but I am serving his mind, he is serving my body by bringing a glass of water, a little food and this and that. So that he is doing, but I am doing this service. So friends, this is very subtle, but very certain. It is there and surely there. So when we read these pages of this great book, we must imbibe, and today's teaching, one cannot attain knowledge unless one is free from egotism. And what is knowledge? Conviction that everything is nothing but God. Thank you. Today we will continue in the next Wednesday.
So the first question is from a YouTube user SM. He's asking if we are in the world because we did not have the blessings to be a sannyasi, should we not try to be successful to do what God allows us to do for the betterment of humanity? Is that a desire?
So, of course, it is a desire, but it's a good desire. But when you are truly doing it, see, if you are doing it for the benefit of your own, as the social workers they do, politicians they do, they are also helping others. But they have a agenda. I will help you, in exchange you should support me, vote me, etc. And sometimes the officials, the social officials. Those people, they are also working over there. They also reach out to the people. They also help them. But that is a job. They are not doing it lovingly. That is a job that is to do. And so sweetly they will talk and they will encourage you. But that is a job only. But when you are doing it with the attitude of serving God, same work will give you the benefit of spirituality. I think you have to understand that. I am doing it completely, that I am actually serving God, not this person or that person. I am serving through different means. But whatever I am doing, I am benefiting myself by serving God. And we can say doing puja. We are not the social workers, we are the votaries of the living gods and goddesses. So understand this and you will understand everything. Thank you.
SPM Mukherjee is asking, Thakur said God takes 10 steps. When you take one step towards God, how far is God? Why is Maya and the traps to keep you busy in the world?
How far is God, that can I say? Because how many steps you have taken, so that many steps God has taken. That is true. The thing is, the God means which is good and also bad, but we will take the good only. And if you try to think good, you will find that other good thoughts are also coming to your mind. That Swami Vivekananda said. Once you start thinking bad things, hundreds of bad things will come to you. And different type of suggestions will be coming, these, that. Some companies, some people will also come around, will slowly take you to drag you down to the hell. But if you are trying to do good, that is also, as because you are going upwards, towards God, towards the purity, it may be slow, but it is sure that good people will be coming and they will also be around you. Good advices will come and good opportunity will be there. That is called God is coming forward 10 steps. If you are trying to realize God, the God will send the good thoughts, God will send the good people, good association. That is the help. But if we make a mistake to understand those, then that is our mistake. When the devotees are coming, they are humble, they are very good people. We started taking them, the ordinary people. I like to bossing over them and all that. Again, you are making the mistake. So I have to be very, very careful that I am actually always living with God. And those good people are nothing but the manifestation of the same God. The scriptures are nothing but God through different way trying to reach to me through a monk, through a sermon. I must understand that and accept that and prepare myself. Then only you are helping yourself and God will go on coming towards you. How you will know that? You will feel happiness and you will feel less desire and less and less and less. So by that way it goes. Thank you.
Premalata Cherupalli is asking if anybody is interested in participating in politics, will we be able to do justice in our work profession?
See, of course, that that if you have the capacity to go into politics and then politics means the controlling all this administration. Suppose you have that power, then through you, it will be great help for the good people. So of course, that is there. But you have to understand whether I will be able to do that or not. And there will be provocations. And there is a word that say that power corrupts. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. Politics is that. The good man. But when he goes, then the sycophants will come. The moment you are successful, anywhere in business and you have money, you have other power, sycophants will come. That is natural. And they will go on telling, oh, you are so great, you are so good. And slowly, slowly, if you start believing that, then you are ruined. So challenges are there, but of course, if you can take up the politics so that you can serve the people in a better way, and serving in how? I am serving the living gods. This is a Kshatriya way of doing. Of course you can do that. Thank you. So let us chant this mantra and we conclude. Niranjanam nityam anantarupam bhaktanukampa dhrita vigraham vai Ishabhataram parameshamidhyam tam Ramakrishnam shirasa namama. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.